So it's a done deal. Henry Cavill is back as Superman. There's been some reviews of Black Adam. The gag rule has been lifted, as it were. And some let slip that, yes, there's an exciting credit scene, teaser, what have you. And, of course, that's Henry Cavill showing up as Superman. Apparently the dialogue goes that he tells Black Adam that it's been a while since someone panicked the world, and a reference to Man of Steel when Zod and the Kryptonians came and nearly wiped out humanity. And also a reference to, it's been a while since anyone's seen me, albeit not in shadow or something like that. And then he says, we need to talk, and then that's it. So, wish it could have been a little more, but yeah, I'm sure this is something they tacked on. There were some rumors that he shot scenes, I think last year, sometime in August or something like that. And I guess it was true. And also true that The Rock himself had been pushing for Henry Cavill to come back. He wanted Superman in this DCEU endeavor, and he wanted Henry Cavill for the role. And Henry Cavill, of course, is represented by the same manager as The Rock, Rock's ex-wife, Danny Garcia, and she had been negotiating all this time on Henry Cavill's behalf, back and forth with the regimes. And now there's a new regime who seemed more agreeable to this, and also Zaslav himself seems to certainly understand the importance of Superman. So, as I've said, a good boost for the film would be to just go ahead and admit that he's in it. They didn't flat out say it, but you got people saying it. And then there's this, I think it was Entertainment Tonight reporter. She just says, "Hey, you managed to get Henry Cavill back," and The Rock's like, and he didn't exactly confirm it, but in a roundabout way he does, because he's still. The deal is, let the audience get to the movie to see it for themselves. It's the big surprise, but at the same time, you kind of need him to do it, because sure, Dwayne Johnson is the big star, but the excitement of the return of Superman is a big boost for it, and it might push it over the finish line. The estimates where they were looking optimistically that it could bring in $75 million. Maybe something like this could push that closer to 100, hopefully. Because all of this falls under the idea that they've been looking for a leader for the DC films. And if The Rock pulls this off and Black Adam is a smash hit and you've got Superman back, then he's going to be a very powerful and strong voice in the direction of the DCEU and where that goes. As for Superman, as I've said all along, you got him back. I imagine that the word was that Henry Cavill wanted solo Superman films. The cameos like this is fine, but he wanted that. He wants to do a Superman film and story. And they definitely need to do that. And that Superman should really be the foundation of their DCEU franchise, similar to what Iron Man did for the MCU. And certainly they started out with Man of Steel, but they had all these stumbles and the clumsiness and the mess and the idiocy of the studio, on and on and on. And so managed to get back here, and so now you've got him back, and as soon as they wrap up these leftover films, which is what it is, and hopefully they've shored them up and polished them a little here and there with reshoots and what have you, and then they should hit the ground running on the next film. Should be Superman, or Man of Steel 2, whatever you want to call it. My favorite idea would be a battle with Brainiac, and you could tie this in to Justice League. Now, All this stuff. Yeah, they're going to keep Justice League as canon and all this stuff. I doubt that. The Zack Snyder version of Justice, will that survive? Now that depends on what they do in the Flash. It's still a time warp travel multiverse shenanigans movie, so all kinds of stuff could happen. We know they reshot Michael Keaton scenes for Aquaman and put Ben Affleck back in it. There's still talk that Michael Keaton's still around. The Batgirl movie got scrapped, so he was going to show up in that. Is there going to be 2 Batman? Will he be Uncle Batman for Ben Affleck's Batman? Or will they pursue a Batman Beyond and Michael Keaton remains in his own universe and that's some other offshoot and future? And they could come together again later for a Crisis on Infinite Earths type thing. Perhaps. But the threads and plot ideas of Justice League, some version thereof, I think they should keep it. There's a lot of stuff that happens there. Barry Allen's ability to time travel is certainly confirmed and explored in Zack Snyder's Justice League, so there's a lot of stuff to utilize there, and then most notably, of course, is Darkseid. So if you had a Man of Steel film versus Brainiac, and you know what Brainiac does, he stole Kandor because the Krypton was doomed, and he knew it was doomed, so he goes around collecting little trophies from dying worlds, and so, hey, look, I'm preserving something of these dead worlds for all time. So he comes to Earth and takes Metropolis, and Superman's got to battle him and save Metropolis and all that type of stuff. It would be cool. And of course he wins, but at the end, you know, you could have whatever's left of Brainiac's android bodies seemingly disintegrating away, and as he's fading away, you know, he tells, you know, I came to Krypton because the world was doomed, and I came to this world to save something of it because it's doomed also. And Superman says, you're defeated, the Earth is safe. He says, I don't mean me, I was trying to save something of it, but it is doomed because he's coming for it. And of course, and then he fades away. That would be the scene, and Superman would, you know, be kind of taken aback by this, but at the same time, he begins to understand, I think I know who he's talking about, you know, because he saw him in Justice League. So that would be another roundabout way to set it up. You eventually get back to this ultimate battle with Darkseid. Whether it goes into the nightmare world and all that stuff that Zack Snyder intended, I don't know. It could. But either way, you got to have Darkseid in it. And it could lead to their ultimate Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, of course, that was called by the Anti-Monitor, not Darkseid, but you know how these things go, you know. It might end up just being Darkseid messing around. But yeah, that's what they could do. And it's long overdue to have a big budget cinema spectacular battle of Superman versus Brainiac. You know, missed a chance. They almost did it in Superman 3, but I guess it's just as well they didn't. You know, but today, with all the technology they got, it could be quite the show, and I think that's what they should do. Lex Luthor can be around, but not the main villain. And I don't know if you need to bring back any of the Kryptonian people. No, it's Brainiac. Brainiac should be the villain, and get on that and go where it leads you. You know. So yeah, this is great news, and so if Black Adam doesn't do well, I still think they'll pursue Henry Cavill Superman, because by now they've signed him or whatever. But you know, they still have a lot of work ahead of them. But it would mean the power within Dwayne Johnson's corner would be greatly diminished for whatever he's pushing for. But if he wins big on this, then it's really going to be up to his crew as to where these movies go next. So, and if he keeps making the money, that makes Zaslav very happy. So he'll have his ear far more than any other projects that may or may not be in the works. So there you go. Anyway, Superman's back.